For more than a century, sailing has been a sport of gentlemen. With slick navy blazers and canvas shoes, the image of sailors calls to mind the glamour of an ageless tradition. This tradition is kept alive today in the form of a 2-year-old AU sailing team. Who knew we had a sailing team? Well, not only does dear old landlocked AU have a sailing team, but they placed 3rd overall in the Storm Tri-Sail Club Intercollegiate Regatta. Joining us to put that victory in perspective and talk more about the sailing team is Commodore Aaron Zankel. Commodore, thanks for joining us.
Can
I just say that I'm in love with your title, Commodore. I kind of want all my staff to call me Commodore. Not that I have staff, but the crew to call me Commodore, but I'll let that go. This may seem like a stupid question, so you'll have to forgive me, but what is a regatta?
A regatta is a race, kind of like a meet is the competition for swimming.
Okay, that makes sense. Tell me more about the victory at the Tri-Sail Intercollegiate Regatta. Was that major? I don't know regattas very well. Put that in perspective as far as competition goes.
Well, that regatta is actually run differently than most college regattas. That one, people donated their boats to just so we could use them for the regatta. They were big boats as opposed to the little boats we usually sail, which are about 14 feet. These boats were about 35 feet to 44 feet. There were several different fleets. But that was a big thing for us because we did well, and there was a lot of big names there. So that was a big thing for our team.
Yeah. When you first came here, it was small, or
When I first came here, it was pretty small. It's about the same size now, but
how many members are on the team?
About 20.
About 20?
Yeah.
Okay.
People will come and go on the semester depending on which classes they need to take because we don't have varsity status. So practice time is affected. So, I mean, we usually require 2 days a week. But if you can't make the 2 days a week, some people just choose to concentrate on their academics one semester and then come back the next semester. Yeah.
Where do you usually sail?
We usually sail on the Potomac, right near Reagan Airport. And actually, we're so close that we get jet wash from the airplanes.
Really?
Yeah, we sail with Georgetown. We use their boats. We use their coach. It's the same exact place they sail.
Now, what do practices look like? Because you practice with Georgetown. So what do practices look like in that respect?
In terms of what? Like, what do we do?
Yeah, what do you do in a practice?
Well, we practice our technique. We practice boat speed and tactics and all that stuff. There's a lot of stuff that goes into sailing, specifically racing. Like, it's easy to sail, just like anybody can do any sport. But doing it well is where you really need to practice. But usually, we practice races. We put a bunch of buoys down and they call off starts, or we practice tacking, which is turning the boat through the wind and going through that as fast as possible and that kind of stuff. There's a variety of things we usually practice depending on the day.
Do you have any great stories from your years of sailing? Well, I suppose I should ask, when did you first get into sailing? Was this something you did in high school or before, or is your family big sailors, or is it something you took up in college?
No, actually, I started sailing when I was 4 when my dad bought a boat. Somebody knew was selling one really cheap, and he figured he might as well. He sailed when he was about 16, but he didn't do it since. So he got a boat when I was 4, and then I started taking lessons when I was 8, and I've been racing since I was 9. So
Wow.
I've been doing this for quite a while.
Wow, yeah, that's neat. Did you live near the water or near a lake or something that you could sail in, or how'd that work?
Actually, my parents used to drive me down like an hour every day to sailing practice.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
That's intense. Who did you practice with back then?
A variety of places. I usually practiced on Barnegat Bay in New Jersey, which is where I'm from. I practice at I think 3 different yacht clubs, one of which is Tom's River, which a lot of really good sailors have come out of.
What are your goals for the sailing team as Commodore? You kind of lead the team. What are your goals for the future?
My goals for the future are to get it to be as good as possible. I really want the team to be set up to be one of those big names, like I said, by the time I go.
If people are interested in getting involved in the sailing team, what should they do? Is there a website they can go to?
Yeah, it's www.ausailing.org. and a lot of the information's on there. My email's on there, and pretty much just get in contact with me, and that's it.
Well, Aaron, I want to thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure having you, and it's always fun to hear about the sailing team. Coming up, Elliot Lackey joins us at the conversation with a letter and a discussion on physical fitness. We'll be right back.